Imagine facing cancer not once, not twice, but 3 times and still emerging stronger than ever. Trent's journey is a testament to resilience and his determination to live life. And he's battled terminal cancer for years. He's emerged through some challenging surgeries that left him on crutches for over 5 years. Trent's story is one of unwavering strength, and despite the odds, he's even ridden over 1,500 miles to prove that he can overcome the challenges that he faces. From major complex hip implant surgeries to just making sure he stays on top of it and inspires others around him. That's his story about survival and finding purpose and strength while dealing with the adversity. And that's why I love sharing our conversation. I was actually a guest on his show, The Conqueror's Crew, and we went through 5 pillars of transformation: identity, movement, nutrition, mindset, and community. And we're going to go through all of that. So buckle up, because this is a really in-depth, long conversation that we had, and we could have kept going, as you can tell when we talk. So this is episode 104 of Driven for Health podcast, and I am a guest on Trent's podcast, Conqueror's Crew. Here we go.
For you tonight, man, this guy, Brian Piranha, 23-year health fitness expert coach. He's had thousands of clients and customers. I cannot wait to talk to this guy and get into it. But before we get into it, I always got to tell everybody a little bit about what the Conqueror's Crew is. So, I had cancer 3 times, and that's kind of how this whole thing started. And we've got 3 principles that we have with the Conqueror's Crew, and they are hope, grit, and no quit. And for us, hope stands for helping other people excel. And there's this funny kind of universal law that if there's something that you need or something that you want, and if you give that away, somehow it comes back to you. And I feel like that's that way with hope. And I had terminal cancer for a couple of years, so it was really hard some days to try to muster some hope up and say something positive to somebody. But you know what? That's kind of what hope is for us. And then grit is grace, resiliency, integrity, and teachable. For me, grace and integrity, they kind of go together a little bit, because it's a lot easier to give other people some grace, right? Or to kind of hold them accountable, about their integrity. But it's more about like, hey man, don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace, like we all need a little bit of grace. And, the other thing, it's like with integrity, when you look in the mirror at 3:00 in the morning, are you really being honest with yourself when you're talking to yourself? Like, are you really having integrity? And so, I kind of, mix those together, but they kind of go together for me in that kind of path. And then resiliency. Well, a lot of people think you're either born with it or you're not. But I think that a lot of people are born with some of it, but you learn it, and it's little by little, and it's step by step, man. And being teachable, right? You get knocked off that high horse, and it usually happens right when you've gotten just arrogant enough to be that guy, right? And then the no quit. I mean, that's just what it is. If you quit, it wins, right? And I'm about taking a time out, man. I'm about like stepping back and reviewing, and like gathering the troops and gathering the faculties, but never out of the game, right? Never out of the game. So those are kind of our 3 principles. I always just kind of remind people of those. And this is a safe place, man. This is a place of kindness and respect, and we don't care about your political opinions or religious or any of that. We respect them, right? And we're not trying to convince you of any of that. and you're free to say, anything that you want to on your mind. But we ask people to be kind and respectful and and be safe, because sometimes people come on and they have some comments or they have some questions, and it takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable. Let's because we all go through the peaks and the valleys. And so man, that's what Conqueror's Crew is about, man. It's just, I love to have guests on that have a story and they give us some credibility about who they are and what they do. And then they leave us with some advice and some tools and some tips and some things like that. So the listener, when they get off listening, they can get up and they can go act on it right then, right? And so I was a little worried that you might like try to break out in the middle of this thing and like try to get me to do a CrossFit set or something, you know? So, hey man, thank you so much for listening
Yeah.
to my intro. And we have some faithful listeners and we always have some new people. And I always like to just kind of lay that groundwork
Right.
and set the stage and all that. So hey,
Mm.
welcome, Brian. Thank you for being here, man. Tell us what's going on with you, man. Just how's
Oh.
your week going? Let's just ease into this a little bit because I mean it's gonna get meaty. I know it's gonna get meaty soon. So
Oh yeah, we're gonna bring the heat. That's for
I
sure.
love it.
Lots about you here. Yeah.
I love it.
Thanks for having me, Trent. One of
Yeah.
the things you said earlier just is excellent. That resilience. Some people say that we're born with it, but it is a muscle. It is a skill set. It's something that you can grow by doing the work, by putting in the reps, by being in the situations and getting to the other side of it. And
Right.
you have experienced that in multiple different times with cancer and other things like business and different things in your life where you've had to become resilient in the situation that you face to overcome it and then ideally come out better. You've learned and you've grown and you've changed for the better at the other side of this, and that's resilience, and you have to have that in today's world. The life is changing. Everyone wants it to stay the
Yep.
same, and today is
Right.
not like yesterday, and tomorrow won't be like today.
Yeah.
It will always change, and you have to be resilient, agile, lean, and be
Yeah.
bendable in a sense
Yeah.
to go with the flow of what's happening. And your attitude and energy, that in and of itself already puts you a cut above, right? Because you can come at things with a more joy, more happiness, more hope in a sense than
Yeah.
being a curmudgeon in a sense, right? A bah humbug. So I really appreciate just our engagement already and
No,
just
yeah,
that in and of
hey,
itself.
I appreciate it. When you have terminal cancer for 2 years, okay, and the first surgery that you had is hip cancer, and they cut your entire pelvis out of your left side, and they tell you you're never going to walk again. You'll be on crutches for the rest of your life. Your leg's shorter than the other. It was not going to work. It's going to be a stump. We want to cut it off. Um, and our recommendation. 99% of people cut the leg off, and we want to cut the leg off. But my dad, thank God, he jumped in because I had a mental breakdown over it.
Oh yeah, sure. It's a huge
So
change in identity, right? You go
I
from
I
walking
mean,
to a wheelchair the rest of your life.
yeah, I was on crutches 5.5 years. It took me a 5.5 year fight to get off crutches, and this the show's not about me, but I had at Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. Man, I trained. I rode the exercise bike 1,500 miles plus to
Yeah.
be ready because man, this leg had shriveled up. Man, it had
Oh
atrophied.
yeah.
It was just like
Right.
a little piece of spaghetti, and I
Yeah.
knew if I got my chance that they were gonna do these tests and they're gonna go, "Well, the leg won't handle it. We can't." So I knew I didn't wanna be the one that was gonna exclude me from the only opportunity, and I found the only guy in the entire world that would take the chance and do it, man. And,
Yeah.
I have the largest, most complex hip implant that's ever been put in a human being, and it works pretty dang good, man. My leg, my
You're
and
not out running marathons, but you're up and
not
moving.
running anymore, not running anymore. But you know what, man? I hobble around on a cane. and,
Yeah.
I got one hand back, and God bless, man. You know what? This takes
Yeah.
it back to just like, I'm so thankful. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't know what I would give just to walk again, man, you
Right.
know? And people take that for granted, and I find myself taking things
I
for
do.
granted. I have to check myself, And, we just do that, man, but, God, man, it gets real simple, right? You're just thankful for, a warm place to sleep, a bed, I
Right.
mean, breathing, and I mean, it gets real simple, right? So,
Right.
tell us about, your what do you do for a career, man? I mean, 23
Yeah.
years in this, and tell us a little bit about how you got into that and what it is.
Yeah. Goodness. You know the song. You'd have these training montage coming on, and I'm glued in. It's not that I want to necessarily box or anything, but man, the hype, the energy,
Yeah,
and
man.
oh, the training. I just fell in love with training. And I ran in
Mm.
high school. I ran in
Yeah.
college. I then turned into running marathons and triathlons, and I own
Wow, okay.
CrossFit gyms. And my whole life has been centered around taking care of myself as
Mm.
to be a leader, to be able to help other people take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And that's been a the process the
Yeah.
whole way through. I found early on that I'm personable. I can talk to people. I give really good energy. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I can make a living out of this. And I
Yeah.
have, and I've been blessed with countless stories of people overcoming challenges, whether it's body weight, whether it's chronic illness, diseases, diabetes, heart attacks, cholesterol, all sorts of different. I had a lady sign on just a little while ago. She has one kidney. She lost her husband, and she's in a challenging place. I had another guy that signed up recently, and he's 34. He's got four kids, two twins at 8, and a 2 and a 1 year old.
Oh,
Be with him, right? But he's got some fatty liver disease. He's got a spleen, a pancreas issue. He's got cardiovascular disease in his family, and
wow.
he needs to change, but he
Yeah.
doesn't know what to do. And oftentimes he said it, and I always says, I understand what eating healthy is, but I don't know how to actually do it in the craziness of my day to day life. And that's where I come in, is to help simplify,
Right.
educate,
Yeah.
inform, and get people to take action, because
Right.
that's the only way things change. You have to take action. Like you getting on a bike, if you want your leg to do the thing, right? You gotta move it. You got to do
Right,
something,
yeah.
and not just sit there on the couch and wallowing over the situation that you're in. You took action.
Miracles don't happen sitting in the lazy boy waiting for it to fall out of the sky. You got to get
Oops.
out of the house and get yourself in a position that it can fall out of the
Yeah.
sky from somewhere.
Right.
That's what I think, pray for miracles, man. But like I think I think you gotta meet God or the universe or whatever you want to call it halfway, man. Right?
Oh
You gotta
yeah,
give
yeah,
them
yeah,
something to
yeah.
work with. If you don't give them
You got
something
to
to work with,
speak it, and
yeah,
then you can then receive it, but you have to be open to that whole process anyways. And you do have to take the first step, in a sense. You're not
right,
just going to win the lottery and you're a millionaire, in a sense, because that doesn't work. We've seen it time and again for however long the lottery's been around, right? The
yeah.
people who win the lottery don't stay. They don't keep the money, right?
They end up bankrupt.
Yeah,
Like over
exactly.
it's
So
like it's
same
crazy, like
thing
over
here.
half of them because they don't know what
Same
to do.
thing. You
Yeah,
gotta move toward what it is that you want, and
yeah,
create opportunities along the way for yourself to
yeah,
shine,
yeah.
to receive.
Can I ask you a little bit,
Totally.
yeah, just, paint us a little bit of picture, like, where you grew up,
Okay.
brothers and sisters, you sounded like an athlete kinda in high school and that. What part of the country you're from? And, I know you have a family and an awesome wife, and give us a little
Yeah.
bit of that whole, like, who Brian Piranha is outside of being a, a
The
health and
fitness
fitness.
guy,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Give us a little bit of that, man.
Brian, he was born in 82, December 28th. He's a Christmas baby, right? I don't know if I got ripped off by Christmas or not, but
Oh man,
all of
yeah,
us Christmas babies, we lament of like, oh yeah, we probably got,
yeah,
didn't get what we could have.
yeah.
We all
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, we all agree we should have the July half birthday to celebrate.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard to share a birthday around Jesus.
yeah. Right. Exactly,
Right.
man.
Right.
Exactly.
So there, I grew up. I have a brother, Jeff. He's 3 years younger,
Okay.
and we grew up with mother, father. They ended up divorcing around 10, 12 years of age,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then I lived with my mom, so my dad every other weekend. They loved me. They cared for me. I don't necessarily feel that I had gotten worse as a result of the divorce in a sense. Obviously, love was different
Right.
from that split and how I experienced it, but they showed up. They did the things. I was a good student. I was like 10th
Yeah.
in my class, and
Wow.
I was in a lot of extracurriculars. I played band from
Oh,
fifth grade. I played cello in fourth, and in fifth grade, I took over with the clarinet, and that's how I met my wife. Yeah, I met her in sixth grade, Friday morning band practice before school started at Ellet High School. All the middle schools
yeah.
and all would come up and play with the band on the Friday mornings, and that was our first connection. And then seventh grade, I sat next to her, and then eighth and ninth, all the way
On
through 12th,
purpose?
and well, we both played the clarinets. Yeah, right. We both play clarinets, and she has obviously been a huge part of my life. Right?
Mm.
Obviously, she's literally. I've known her since I was 11. I'm 43 now,
Wow.
so
Man.
we started dating at senior year, high school. And she gave
Okay.
me the note. She gave me the note. I didn't give her a note, but she gave me a note. It was like, "Do you want to check the box? Do you want to like be boyfriend girlfriend or check this box for the friend zone?"
She put that on you, huh? She was kinda like,
She did,
"Dude, you better,
and
like, you gonna miss out because you know."
uh-huh. Yep, I almost did because I checked the friend boxes, like, "Oh, I don't wanna,
Ooh, man.
make our friendship," so,
Yeah,
but she was always there. She was fun, she was engaging, she was just my person to share a
yeah,
lot with. And since I sat next to her every single day, is
yeah.
just easy to get along. I'd bring little treats and Werther's originals like the caramel
Oh,
hard candies
yeah.
and bring them to band concerts. And I would always annoyingly pick on her, right, as an obnoxious middle high schooler, just like
Because
Coke
you
and
liked her
whatever.
because you had a crush on her?
Yeah, 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 exactly. Oh,
Oh,
that
this is too
developed
much.
that.
This is
So
so
just
cool.
really many fond memories of her. I ran in high school and I have really fond memories of two running buddies, Leo and Dan. I actually
Mm,
see Dan. I saw him yesterday. I almost saw him today, but he had work. He's got four kids. I got four kids, and he lives about 10 minutes from me.
yeah,
And we've definitely kept in touch all these years.
right.
And I've seen right now I'm seeing him about one, two, three times a week, and we work out together and spend time that way, and just taking care of ourselves and fellowship and things. But some really good long term
Yeah,
friendships, relationships there. And
that's
then
good.
I got into where else are we? We get into marriage at college and then marriage and
Yeah.
then the first son comes 26 and then Levi, then Everett was 15 months later. Like, oops. So Everett comes and then Maxwell comes 2.5 years later and Emmeline comes 2 more years later. So we had a 6 year stint of babies and a 10-year stint of diapers. And
Yeah,
then yeah,
do you change diapers?
I changed a lot of diaper. I am
Yeah.
roll up the sleeves. Let's
Man,
put in the work. Let's do the things. I made
I
dinner
figured.
tonight.
I figured.
Yeah,
I figured.
I will wash clothes. I'll hang them on the line. I sweep. I clean.
Yeah.
We have four cats and a dog. I'm scooping and complaining, and I'm all in to help support my family, and I think
Man,
that's the
that's
biggest
awesome, man.
key of Brian. Definitely a strong identity, being a family man and taking care of his family as much
Yeah,
as he can. And I
that's
really identify with that provider role,
yeah,
and I do my
yeah.
best.
Man, that's wonderful to hear, man. Where are you from? Like, what state are you from? And
Akron, Ohio,
oh,
home,
Ohio.
home of LeBron James. He's in
Oh
my
man,
hometown.
please don't tell me Ohio State.
As much as I'm into sport, I don't have time for professional sports. I don't really watch football or
But
basketball or
so you don't
anything.
even watch college football. Yeah,
No, I don't watch college
fair
football.
enough.
With 4 kids, you don't really have time for anything. They
I
are
bet you,
full
yeah, you're probably
demand.
yeah,
Oh my
hoping you get an
god.
hour to sleep, right? I mean, you get a couple
Yeah,
hours of
yeah,
sleep a
yeah,
night.
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, my wife's a night owl, and then my kids have to get up for school, and I'm the one
Yeah,
stuck in between there.
yeah,
But,
man.
yeah, if I were to root for a team, sure, Ohio State, they've been proven for
Yeah.
decades to be very successful, so why not? But here's who I'm not rooting for, the Cleveland Browns. I can't do that. That's pain.
Oh, oh, hey, man, I grew up in Louisiana, Saints fan.
Okay,
So
right.
you know, I worked in IT for
Yeah.
10 years, when I first graduated from
Mhm.
college, and that was my thing, and I did a
Yeah.
lot of projects, and I actually drove my car. My base was Dallas, and every week I'd fly, right? I'd fly, Monday, Sunday or Monday, and then back,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of
yeah. Mm.
and I was like, "You know what? I'm just so tired of flying." And it was the spring, and I drove my car from Dallas all the way to Cleveland, and I stayed for the whole project, which was like 4 or 5 months or something.
Okay.
And man, you know what? I had so much fun. I
So
mean,
fun.
it was $10 to play the city courses, and they were so nice, man.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I love to go into the Great Lakes, like, brewery, restaurant, grill,
Mhm.
and brewery and thing. I used to be big into micro brewery
Oh, yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and I used to brew my
Right.
own beer a little bit and
Yeah.
stuff. And you know what, man? I'll tell you what. I don't know if it was just me or if I was lucky, and I'm not I truly mean this. People from Cleveland, Ohio area were just some of the nicest people that I've ever met. And
Yeah, they're pretty nice.
I mean, I've been to almost every big city in the country.
Yeah.
I travel for work, right?
I've been to a lot,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I would go back to Cleveland.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's
That's
weird.
good to hear.
Yeah. Most people are like, Cleveland's a dump. I would just what
Uh,
I don't know. I have something in my heart about
yeah, yeah.
Cleveland, man. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
There's a lot of fun things to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of culture, there's a lot of good food, and you can have a lot of fun
Yeah.
in the city. And a lot of people stay in Cleveland because they enjoy Cleveland for what it is. So
Yeah. Yeah. And they redid the whole waterfront thing, right? Down there.
yes, yeah, they're trying to make it real nice,
Yeah.
pretty, yeah, so that you come down and hang out, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Because there for a while, right? I mean, like the industry
Yeah,
kinda,
it's like
dumped up
downtown's
the
a
lake a
period, right?
bit, and that
Yeah.
stuff just happens, right? And
Yeah, unfortunately. Yep.
yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
burning river is a real thing.
Wow. I
Yeah.
I actually don't know
Yeah.
too much about that. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cuyahoga River did catch on fire at one point. The Great Lakes Brewery has a beer named after
It has, okay.
it. Yep. Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll have to look that up, man. Yeah, I don't know too much about that story, but I have a good idea
Yeah.
of what it's about.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, did you get your degree and stuff like college in like
Yeah.
sports, kinesiology, like biology, that kind of thing? Is that
Yeah.
yeah? Okay,
Yep. I
okay.
actually use my degree every day.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
Yep.
That's
The story
awesome.
was I signed up for college. My grandmother lived in Firestone Park, which is about maybe 10-minute drive. It's a couple miles. It was really easy to just get there. I lived with her. She actually, fortunately, thank God, she paid for my college.
Wow.
And then She paid for groceries, so I got fed well. But
Yeah.
I lived with her, and I would just do chores and stuff around the house and mow the grass and all this.
Yeah.
But I would drive down, and the story goes is I just started doing general classes. I was going to do business or engineer, whatever. I walked into the building, Memorial Hall. It's not there anymore. They made a baseball field out of it or something. But
Okay.
they uh inside it, there's a sliding glass displays. Inside there, I walk in, I'm looking and see, just catch my eye, stop off and look. There's 8 different exercise related type jobs. I can do any of those. Sign me up. Literally the next day, I signed up for the College of Education and shifted into exercise science,
Wow.
nutrition,
Okay.
kinesiology,
Yeah.
biology,
Yeah.
anatomy, all those things, physiology, all those things.
Cool,
And
man.
that's what I studied. And then I started practicing at the rec center. The first year that the student rec center opened, they had a wellness suite. Inside that, I was doing skin calipers, I was doing exercise prescriptions, giving people workouts to do, bone density tests, all sorts of VO2 max tests, all sorts of cool stuff. And that got me into to the industry.
Okay. Okay, man. And,
Yeah.
are you still in the Ohio area? Did
Yeah,
you
yeah. I still live in Akron. Yeah.
Okay, okay, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Haven't gone too far, although well, this is home base for now, and then we travel a crazy amount. My wife's a travel
Right.
advisor, and
Yeah.
she has her own business, and she creates bucket list style trips with people. You want to go do something fun, wild and crazy, and it's one of those. I guess I got to wait till I'm 60 to do it. Nah, she expedites that and makes it happen for people, and she's
That
got
sounds
someone
awesome.
going. Oh yeah, right now, literally, she's sending someone on an African safari. There's someone going on a Croatia river cruise. A grandmother is doing uh, a 20 plus person family Alaskan cruise. She's sending later in the year someone to Egypt to go tour the pyramids and the temples, go up and down the cities of Italy and Venice and Milan and Rome and Sicily and all this. And it's pretty wild to see the cool adventures that she's creates for people and even for me.
Hey, just one is it how's the connection on your end? Is it okay?
uh, I'm good. Yeah, I haven't
Okay.
seen no
Okay.
issues.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's lagging a little bit on my end,
Yeah.
but I think that's because, the way that the StreamYard's set up, that it carries a lot of the grunt, a lot.
Yeah.
If you're
We're
okay,
good.
man, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I
we're
just
good.
want to make sure, like, if
Oh,
it gets
yeah.
frustrating and miserable, like, it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
really your
I'll let you know. I haven't had any issues since
Okay, cool.
we
Yeah,
started. Before in our pre-call, a little bit. It was a
yeah,
little bit slow on your end, but I haven't
yeah.
noticed since we started.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
man. All good, all good. It'll actually pick this up and it'll be fine.
But yeah. Right.
It'll so,
Yep.
um, well, gosh, man. And so, okay, yeah, and so, you kind of gotten your degree and you're gonna go and, you're gonna do it. So did you start out like being a personal trainer
Almost.
and yeah, tell
I
get
was
kinda take us from, like, from that point, to what you do now, man. Because I mean, it's evolved so much into something that, like, unique
transformative.
unique
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Unique,
it's
transformative.
it's not just going to hang out at the meet at the gym with the meathead
Gym.
guy
Right.
and learning how to lift weights heavy,
Right.
right? I mean,
No, no.
this is a
This is
different
transformative. Yeah.
yeah, man. This is cool.
The first time I got paid to do exercise was teaching group exercise classes at the
Okay.
local YMCA, and this
Wow.
was in 2002 or something like that.
Wow. Okay.
The exercise director said, "You are a young, able-bodied male. I need someone to sub my class tonight. You're it. You're getting in there and doing the thing. All right, okay. What are we doing?" Well, my actual first class was called Phenomenal Abdominal. It was a
Oh,
30-minute ab class, Mondays 5 to 5:30. People packed the room. At 5:15, mats start lining up in the room to people to claim their spots, and it was bumping. And we'd put the music on and we'd do all these different ab things. People loved it. And that carried on for a number of years. I was like my iconic class was the Phenomenal
oh,
Abdominal, taught
and
group
abs
exercise and
suck. They're terrible. They're terrible. You know what, man? I actually I have a personal training certification from the
yeah, yeah.
from Cooper Institute of Dallas. I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I used to be big into into I was I power lifted in college a bit,
Okay.
and biology and chemistry degree, rah rah.
Right.
Um, that says a lot to a guy that was a gym rat, that you have people coming to your class and it's a 30-minute ab buster class, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, guys that, have been working out as long as you know, we have since what, middle school, high school kind of thing, right?
Basically, yep.
Yeah, dude, that's a lot of cred, bro. That's a lot of
Yeah,
street cred.
thank you. Yep.
So,
They
yeah.
started doing that, spinning, I was substituting yoga. I only did
Oh, good
step
for
class a
you.
couple times. I actually, silly enough, you know this, I got Zumba certified
Oh,
for
well, good
credits,
for
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I never ended up teaching it because the choreography was a bit too much for me. I said, "This is good. This is a part-time job to learn all these dance moves and stuff to make it good in class." But that's a silly fun fact that not too many people know. So yeah, I'm a Zumba certified.
Now,
But then
did your wife practice that with you, and then you could, like, take her to the local, like, salsa thing, and you guys would
yeah,
go do some
we should.
bars or what?
That would be a lot of fun to go dance with her. It would be a blast. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think it'd
Yeah.
be worth our time. But from there, I ended up getting out of the degree and ended up doing fitness staff in a gym. So I was just doing exercise prescriptions and cleaning treadmills. And I
Yeah.
get in there in about a weekend. I'm looking around and say, hey, wait a minute. Personal trainers are standing next to clients just talking to them. They don't have to clean equipment and they make twice as much as I do. Sign me up. Within 6 months, I had a full roster and I was into personal training mode for
Wow.
about 4 years until I transitioned out of there. I became the weird guy that was in the back of the weight room, hogging the squat rack, not letting anyone to go in there, and doing all this boot camp. I called it shake and bake boot camp. I had this
Oh,
group,
it's
this
awesome.
class, shake and bake, or we'd do CrossFit style boot camp style type workouts and such.
Yeah.
And I ultimately outgrew the space and I ended up opening up gyms. I ended up opening up two in about 5 years,
Wow.
and that was quite a roller coaster ride in and of itself
Oh,
there
man.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because dude, it is a totally different ball game when you work at a gym to
first owning.
owning the gym, right?
Yeah,
You make all the decisions in every o'clock. It's all yours.
class
Ooh.
starts Monday through Friday. All right, I'm
Man,
there.
was that
Yep.
CrossFit stuff that you were doing? Was it like the
Yeah.
CrossFit gym thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2010, we opened up in October and we got in before I'd say the mass market started to
Oh, wow.
happen.
Good for
So we
you.
timed it really well. We had a very productive 2 years doing it. Ultimately, I partnered wrong. I ended up leaving in about 2 years. The partnership of the owner relationship was just not as great as it could have been. I had tons of fun in there. I actually took my personal training client, Betsy Finley. We went to the CrossFit Games 3 times. We got first, second, and eighth place. Pretty wild. She's 60 at the time when we went. She could deadlift 250 pounds, lift 100 pounds overhead, rope climb, pull ups, handstand push ups, all sorts of crazy stuff.
Wow.
And but the cool part, I always have to quantify it. That's
Yeah.
really cool, right? Most people under the 60, they can't even think of doing that.
Yeah.
But what was really cool was how functional she became in her everyday life. she could go on a 3 mile hike and get lost in the woods and not have a care in the world, taking pictures of flowers, of wildlife. And that was
Yeah.
her home. She'd go kayak out on the lake and not have a worry because she was functionally fit. And most 60-year-olds, they will walk around the block. All right, I checked off the exercise block for the day. I got to get back to my regularly scheduled programs. And so that was the joy that Betsy was able to receive through being strong, physical and capable.
Well,
It was very, very cool.
yeah, man. That's awesome, man. That's so
Yep,
cool.
yep.
That really is. That really is. The partnership, I mean, I don't wanna go into too much detail, about it, but was it like a friend or
No, no,
did you
I
kinda get
just met
hooked up with
him
it?
and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, he just leveraged me for, and I just let it happen. I didn't. It was my first business. He was a serial entrepreneur. I thought it was all good, but as it went on, it's just there's just a lot of behind the scenes was just not great. He just didn't treat me very well,
I
for
can
especially for all the work and effort that I put in. I mean, I was literally getting up at 4 in the morning to open the gym up by 5, stay there till 11 ish, come back at 3 ish, teach evening classes, leave there at 9, get home at 10, try and spend a little bit of time with my wife before I fell asleep, and then get to bed at midnight and then wake up at 4 o'clock. I did that for basically 2 years. It just
yeah.
didn't treat me very well, and the same equal partnership type thing.
I'm with
That
you.
that was ultimately it. I mean, you own a business and you understand
I had a business
people
partner.
sometimes.
I
Yeah,
had a business partner and I know that feeling. So,
yeah, yeah. Yeah. It could have been different. And when I
yeah.
left, the gym closed within 6 months, and we were when I left, we were pulling 50K in a month with our
Oh,
membership. We had 300 members. That's when I left, and then it crashed 6 months later.
yeah.
So it's just just a display of some of I got out of the way and people saw him for who he was,
Well,
unfortunately.
yeah,
And
it sounded like you did all the work and,
yeah,
that was kinda what the business was.
yeah. It's like, oh, I got this guy that's a coach and he loves CrossFit and he's just gonna put up with all the things and do all the things. Okay, cool. And
Yeah.
it just I learned a lot.
Yeah,
I learned a lot from that
yeah,
season of life. So
yeah,
then I
yeah,
went into another partnership
yeah,
hoping it'd be better, and it wasn't, unfortunately. There
right,
was in this second business, we did significantly less income and revenue, and there's too
right.
many cooks in the kitchen in a sense.
Oh, okay.
I had 3 other people that were already those 3 people were doing their thing, personal training in a space, and then I showed up and I can do CrossFit. And so
Right.
we turned it into a CrossFit space, and it just 2 years later just fizzled out. It just that one wasn't as it's still learning, but it wasn't as
Yeah,
a bad situation in a
yeah,
sense
yeah,
of feeling
yeah.
like you're getting taken advantage of.
Can you give me an idea kinda like, what year, the years or,
Yeah,
what
2010 to 2015
okay,
was the time.
okay. Yeah.
That was about
Right.
when it happened.
Yeah.
After that, then I left on my own. I moved into this house where I'm at, and I've been here for 10 years. The last 10 years have been pretty miraculous, pretty
Oh, yeah.
inspiring. So I took all this knowledge, the personability, the enthusiasm, the excitement, the energy, and turned it into an online coaching service. And I've
Yeah.
been helping people all over the world. Where's the one guy? I had someone sign up with me today as a client in Connecticut, in California. I talked to another guy that was in Pennsylvania. And yesterday I talked to a guy that was in Ohio that lives kind of close to me, and another person that's in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And one of the coolest things I would say right now, if I would put another feather in my cap, but working with my second Olympian. So I'm working
Oh,
now with Kendra Harrison. She is a silver medalist at the Tokyo Olympics with the 100-meter hurdles, which is really cool, unique experience to have someone literally as a world record holder and Olympic silver medalist. And she wants to go for gold in LA. And I'm helping her understand nutrition and how to put it
mhm.
where the rubber meets her the feet. It's a lot
Good.
of
You know if I can just taking a step back for a
Yeah.
minute, you know, I really appreciate that you're open and honest and say, you know what? I mean, I had a couple of partnerships and they weren't that good.
No, they were really
And
bad,
yeah,
actually. The
you know,
first one was, risking bankruptcy, risking a divorce with 3 kids, right? I mean, that's the reality, that's brass tacks,
right,
of
yeah,
the situation because, I really leveraged my K. I cleared it out for the gym.
yep,
My wife, she we had our first Levi and then the second one. So we opened in October 2010.
right,
The second one came in December 14th, 2010. So we were open for about 5, 6 weeks. And
yep,
then the second son came, and my wife had to carry quite a load in that first year of the gym being
mhm,
open and me being gone.
yeah, yeah,
There was a lot of learning, a
yeah.
lot of learnings.
She's like
Yeah.
trying to handle two babies, right?
2
And
babies.
and
Yeah.
and you're trying to run two baby
Right.
businesses.
Uh-huh, exactly,
I know, man.
and it's just about trying to grow and
Yeah,
establish yourself in a career and
yeah,
a profession and make good money so that you can
yeah,
have, you can enjoy things and not have to worry about, "Oh, my car broke down, which credit card do we put it on?" Like,
yeah,
nobody wants that, right? If
right,
I'm
yeah,
worried about that, then I can actually give to people because I can't pay my bills, and I'm worried about, like, where's the next client coming so I can pay off my tire change rotation, whatever, because my
mhm,
car needs some. I don't want that.
yeah,
But yeah, it was challenging, and everyone has challenges, right? You face
yeah,
physical challenges, you
yeah,
face business
yep,
challenges. This is just the beginning of the conversation about the resiliency and
right,
being able to put in the reps and understand life is going to throw different seasons at you.
yep,
Even the season that I'm in right now, I have all these accolades and all this experience, but if no one knows who I am, I can't
boom,
share my gifts with the world.
yeah,
And then I can't make a living and an income to support my family of 4 kids and how busy it is and all
yeah,
these things. And so that ends up being, right now I'm spending a significant amount of time marketing myself
right,
and putting myself out there
yeah,
on this podcast. I have my own podcast called Driven for Health. I
yeah,
just released my 78th podcast in 155 days or something to do some
yeah,
math. That's
yeah,
one every other day, and you know what putting a podcast out looks like.
man,
It's work. Every
yeah,
episode's, the talk time itself, but then the extra hour to 2 hours on the back and front end to have it prepared and all that stuff. So I appreciate being a guest here. I know the work and the energy that it
yeah,
goes in to it
yeah,
all. So this season of life is right now is putting myself back out there and finding alternative ways to find people that resonate with my message and how I help them and
yeah,
can
man,
help them and
so
with my gifts.
yeah, yeah. So, is the online thing kind of your primary?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
can you tell us how that works?
Oh
Do you
yeah.
do online classes like with people that are kind of all over, and you do them at the same time, or yeah, for the people that are curious,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially me.
Yeah. 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 Let's figure out how does it
Yeah,
actually do this? Yep.
yeah,
Well, we'll use you as an example.
perfect.
Trent raises his hand. Somehow he comes across Brian. There's a number of different ways. I'm running paid ads. I have a podcast. I'm very open and promote a lot on social medias. I'm doing emails. I'm doing all the things. So somehow you come across me and you have a goal. Hey, Brian, I want to run again. That could be our goal, right? Okay,
Okay,
cool.
yeah,
Where are you at now? And okay, this is where you are, and this is where you want to go. And my job is to break this down into the smallest, easiest, next best step for you to be able to get toward that goal. So if you did want to run, okay, then we need to start working on making sure that we have leg strength, that we have to take into all considerations of Trent's
yeah,
past, his hip replacement, his ability, physical abilities to do that, what's the
right,
likeliness and the timeline and all these things, because
right,
it's just me and you trying to work together for the desired outcome.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I have to always get clear on with people. And I talked to them in the beginning. I've had 6 conversations in the last yesterday and today that about people. One just wanted to lose weight, super motivated, just need to lose weight. He's in his 50s, his kids are graduated and moving on. He's empty nesting. Another person is 34, he's got 4 kids, he's got uh, fatty liver, he's got spleen, pancreas issues, and cardiovascular disease in his family. And he's overweight, needs to lose about 30 pounds. I have someone else that's 68. I had 2 people that were in their late 60s. The one guy, he's got high cholesterol, he's got blood pressure. He doesn't even know how long he's had type 2 diabetes. And he needs to lose about 25 pounds. We got another person that's got hurt. She lost her husband 6 months ago in June or 8 months ago. She's sad and she's
Yeah.
depressed, right? That's a big change for
Yeah.
someone that like when I depending on whoever goes first in my relationship, it's gonna be a really hard season of life because I've literally experienced so much with my wife. So either way, it's gonna be hard, right?
Yeah.
So like all these people have these
Yeah.
goals, right? They
Yeah.
want to look better, they want to feel better, and they have some obstacles that they need to calm based on whatever their prior history has been, whether it's
Yeah.
with exercise or with their nutrition or with their lifestyle or their stress management or their time management, their social support. I could keep going on, but
Yeah.
everyone is a whole person. And we have to look 360 at all the areas of who this person is and how they
Yeah.
interact and engage in their life and with those that surround them in their bubble of influence and sphere of
Yeah.
family and friends and relationships and such.
Yeah.
And then we start getting to work. And yes, we spend a lot of time on nutrition. We spend some time with exercise, got to get moving and active because you feel better when you move. Then we start figuring out the lifestyle stuff. And so we started here and we want to get here. I just need to get them to get here. And then I need to get them to here. And I need to get them to
Yep.
here. And then there. And it's just one step at a time that we go. And people want to jump to the end, right? Because we're in this instant gratification
Yeah.
society. And I love that you talked earlier about how things could be just joyful and just you can take so much gratitude for basic things. Like I'm in a heated house right now that keeps me at a nice even temperature because if I was born 100 years ago, I'd have wood in a fire and I'd probably be bundled up freezing. And then I was born 1,000 years ago, I'd be like living in a teepee or living in a igloo or living in a hole in the ground, hiding from the 10-degree, 20-degree weather outside with the snow.
Yeah.
That's what I would be doing. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out how am I going to eat tomorrow. And now I can
Exactly.
just, the gratitude piece can be crazy. So we're living in this instant gratification society because
Yeah.
everything's on demand and it's so convenient and all this, and that's causing our demise because
Yeah.
heart attacks, obesity,
Yeah.
disease,
Yeah.
diabetes, all these things are on the rise. They are not going down, they're going up quickly.
Right.
And
Right.
I am just one person of many. There are a lot of Brian's out there, but I my job is to the people that I come across and influence and I just help them make the next best step in their day to make sure that they are moving toward their health goals,
Yeah.
whatever we decided are. Because some people are different. Some might want to lose 20 pounds. Some might just want to look better. Someone might want to be able to get up off the ground with and play with their grandkids. One might want to look great for a cruise. One might just want to stop going on a work trip and gaining 5 pounds every time because he can't control himself when he goes to the work conference and he eats too much and the socializing and all this and he comes back and he feels horrible. All these things.
So, I mean, do all these different, kind of people, do you have group classes that people do together that are actually in different locations, but you guys work out?
No. I don't work out with anyone. I
Okay.
talk to people. I
Okay.
talk to people. So in the last 10 years, 12 years, I've developed this thing right here. It's called an ear, and you listen. Yes, you listen. I always joke about this. My clients Brian Liston's amazing. He's just always there. He's super helpful and he's kind and generous and energetic and all these things. And my wife, yeah, Brian could turn that hearing aid up a little bit to listen.
I man, I think I felt that one coming.
Right, right.
Oh,
Right.
you're just never gonna do good enough, man, for her.
Well,
Yeah,
being in proximity to people,
yeah,
you show your strengths, your weaknesses, your positives, your negatives.
yeah,
It doesn't matter who I'm around. If I'm around someone too long, they're gonna see
yeah,
the imperfections, right?
yeah,
I'm a
man,
human being. I have
yeah,
imperfections just like anyone else.
yeah,
My kids won't do their chores when they come home, and I have to yell at them at some point because I asked them nicely.
yeah,
And then the fifth time later, clean up the cat litter. Right there, literally right there is
yeah,
a plate. Here it is. Here it is. Here's a plate that's got crumbs on it that my third son left in the basement where I'm at right now. I've asked him to take it upstairs multiple days now because his mom isn't home, but she's coming home tonight. And he hasn't taken it upstairs because who knows why? Because he's 12 and he thinks it's silly that I should have taken it upstairs. So
yeah.
this is Brian's imperfections coming out. Pick up the plate. Why is it down here? Why is it still down here?
Oh my god.
I digress. But when I'm engaging with people,
Yeah,
there's a state of empathy, sympathy, grace, gratitude, optimism, opportunistic, opportunity seeking, whatever it is, we are looking for the success and the fruits that come of the labor of the change, the transformation. And everyone's journey is a little bit different. Some people, it's like, oh, I stopped doing this thing and I did this other thing and I lost 30 pounds. And the others, it's a lot more toil and effort and things. And unfortunately, that's based on their past life, like what happened in the last 5, 10, 20 years,
yeah,
their ability or skill sets around nutrition, around exercise, around gaining muscle, around all these, how they treated their body, the different types of social situations they're in, their behaviors around food, all these things start showing up, and they
yeah.
might have to struggle a bit more to push through to get their body to change because they've been sold the lose 30 pounds in 30 days thing, and that's what they think that should happen. And that's just not the truth.
Right, right, yeah. So does that I don't want you to, think that I'm being rude. I'm just kinda
Mhm.
checking through,
Oh, you're good.
all the comments and everything
Oh,
to
yeah,
see
yeah,
if
yeah.
there's anything. So, one man
Yeah, you're
band,
good. Oh, yeah,
kinda
no,
thing.
I'm
So,
solopreneur over here too.
yeah, man. So,
You're all
I
good,
just
man.
want you to think that, I'm
Yeah.
not, engaged in it. I just don't want somebody to, ask a question and, we don't get an answered. And then, you know what? If we
Oh,
miss
yeah.
it, we just circle back.
Yeah.
It's not a major, right? It's not a major, but
Right.
I do like to try to catch it if, you
Right.
know, if I can. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm just
definitely.
thinking
Yeah, no
talking through.
worries. Yep.
Um, so do you do, like so you said it, it sounds like you kind of go through a bit of an evaluation with
Yep.
people,
Yep.
and it's in these areas. And you get a picture,
Else.
yeah, what it is, and you put a plan together for them.
Yep.
And then they check in with you as
Yep.
accountability to make sure that
Yes.
they're on track.
Exactly. Exactly. So we come
Mhm.
together,
Yeah,
create a plan,
yeah,
educate them on the key pieces that they need to know and understand to then be able to make better choices and decisions than they had for the last weeks, months, or years, and then get them moving in the direction where they want to go. And as a result, then I have to keep them on track. And that's where humans do human things. And they get off track. Squirrel, Brian, literally, someone sent me a screenshot of a mushroom coffee, and it had the mushroom coffee in the bottom. It was 59 slash $27 now. And above it, it had three pictures of a woman's silhouette. One had belly fat, the second one had less belly fat, and the third one had abs. And
Okay.
she said, "Is this a fad or is this real?" I said, "Hey, what do you think first?" Right? Because mushroom coffee isn't going to magically ignite your metabolism to burn off 20 pounds of belly fat. It's not going to work. That's
Yeah.
not how it works. It's a calorie deficit over an extended amount of time, making good food choices and balanced meals and having enough calories and protein and drinking your water and getting your activity in, primarily steps and doing some basic strength training. Those are the basics of what I did. And most of the time, I'm constantly reminding people of those basic things. Can you do these basic things on repeat for an indefinite amount of time, like as long as you are alive? That's the thing, because we get bored, we get tired, we get distracted, we stop caring, we're
Yeah.
unmotivated, there's no willpower. The list goes on. It's cold outside, it's rainy outside, it's too hot outside. The gym closed, the gym's open. No one will go with me. I got to go
Yeah.
by myself. Whatever. There's a million different ways that human in this situation.
Right.
And I guess that's where the magic of the coach comes into play.
Right.
Those are the in the trench moments that I've had for so long,
Yeah.
that I just understand what these people are dealing with, and I all I have to do is make sure I give them the next best step
Right.
for that situation, so that they always say, "Oh, Brian's walking right beside me.
Right.
He's supporting me. He answers my questions. He keeps things moving forward." And then we see progress. We
Right.
see progress happening and unfolding. And then I always have to make sure that they understand why. And I ask them, I'll say, "Tell me why this is working. Why is this not working? What's going on in the last week or two that you have experienced this outcome? Let's assess it, talk about it, and communicate so that you understand. And then you have actionable, real solutions that you can then go take the next best step for you."
Yeah.
That's it.
Like, how long do you have an average client for? I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
usually like a 4 week or an 8 week or 3 month.
Uh, I've got a men's group right now. I'm working generally at 40 plus men. I call it the Call to Rise. It's a 100-day fat loss challenge.
Right.
The goal is to lose 20 plus pounds if we need to lose weight. Some people don't need to lose weight, but there's other reasons that they need with nutrition.
Right.
There's 5 pillars. Pillar
Right.
number one is
Right.
the
Right.
call. It's your identity. It's who you are,
You
who
do
you see
that. You
yourself
do that.
is.
Sorry.
And you,
Sorry. I'm going to talk over you.
oh yeah, and you gotta. Brian is this energetic, athletic, motivated leader type, father figure, husband figure. That's who I identify with. And that's how I want to be seen in the world, as
Right.
that. And
Right.
so we need to, but if I was 30 pounds overweight, there's a disconnection there, right? There's friction in that situation. And
Right.
I would need
Yep.
to then figure out how to get out of it. So that's the first pillar.
Right. Yeah.
Second pillar is the forge. It's the exercise, it's the movement, it's the physical body burning calories, building muscle, transforming. We got the
Yep.
third pillar is the fuel. It's the nutrition. The
Yeah.
easiest way to explain it is eating the right foods at the right times in the right amounts. And it's individual to every single person. It's not this like meal thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Meal plans or something. Meal plans have kept me busy for decades because they don't work. The
Golly.
fourth one is the code. It's the mindset piece. It's how you perceive and understand and think about things.
Okay.
I have to change your thought patterns and behaviors as a result of the things that we work on. And when we change what you think, because it's all up here no matter what, anyways,
Right.
then we get different outcomes. And the fifth one is what I call a brotherhood. Brotherhood is group of like-minded men. I'm the ringleader. I'm the one up front leading the charge, but
Yeah.
then the other guys are like-minded individuals. They're successful. They see themselves as a successful
Right.
person in many areas of their life, but they're physical health is in disconnect to that. And
Right.
that's we get together and they
Yeah.
motivate, they inspire, they connect, because men, especially in their 40s, I'm not gonna lie, they're lonely, they're disconnected, they feel they're stuck in this rut of I gotta work and I gotta provide and I can't do
Yeah.
things. And all these things start happening
The midlife crisis.
yeah, exactly, and
Yeah.
we need to avoid
Yeah.
that because a midlife crisis can burn your life down from just flipping it upside down to
Yep.
changing your careers in a negative way to relationship problems with your spouse or your
Absolutely.
kids or something
Yep.
or other friends and stuff, and we need a midlife process that
Yeah.
allows us to be better when we're 50 than when we're 45 or 42 or 40 or
Yeah.
whatever. And
Yeah.
that's the call to rise. So
Yeah.
we I connect with each of them individually. We
Cool.
connect
Cool.
together as well in an online meeting. It's actually tonight at 9 p.m.
Okay.
And I make sure that I keep them moving and keep them motivating and keep checking in with them and just moving them through that process so that they get results and
Yeah.
they're excited.
How often do you do the call to rise? It's 100 days. So do you do 'em a couple times a year or three
It's
times?
ongoing. It's ongoing.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
There's
So,
usually a capacity at which I create a wait list in a sense, but
okay.
it is ongoing and
Right.
there's not certain
Right.
times like this is what Brian does.
Right. So yeah,
I do work with
you just
women
like,
too. I'll throw that out there too. I do work with women and
oh, yeah, cool.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So like that's subtly different. It's more of an individual thing, but with guys, that I found that so many men. I had three testimonies through the holidays. Lucas
Wow.
lost 30 pounds. Mike lost 30 pounds. Andy lost 38 pounds. I talk about it on my Driven for Health podcast in episode
Yeah.
34, 43, and 53. Those
Yeah.
guys share their stories and the impact that doing the basics and helping them figure out how to make them
Yeah.
sustainable has made a
Yeah.
significant impact in their life. So, and it's rewarding. That's my why. Is
Yeah.
that transformation of someone who comes to me and not feeling great about themselves and the confidence and the energy and the outcomes that they can then create because they're not
Yeah.
worried about the way they look or feel. That's
Yeah.
behind them now.
Yeah, man. Guys, just so you know, I mean, the website is like thecalltorise.com. Okay. And there are legit testimonials on here that I am looking at. And you wouldn't believe, I mean, 85 pounds, this one fella. Um, I mean, another guy, 90 pounds, another guy lost 38, man.
Yeah,
He's just
they're
like,
not doing it in 100 days. Just going to throw that out there.
okay,
But
fair enough, fair enough.
we lose 20 to 30 pounds usually in 100 days, and then they continue on and they say phase two, and they will continue with the next part of the rest of the year, the 265 other days, and that's where we can start seeing those massive wins and
Yeah,
transformation. Because if someone loses basically a person, they are light years ahead of
yeah,
not dying so soon, right? More confidence, more energy, show up for those most important people, and
yeah,
do bigger things, better things. Like
yeah,
we are here to provide and to interact and engage and add value to the world, and you
yeah,
can't do that if you look in the mirror and you don't think good of yourself.
yeah, man. Yeah. I lost 50 pounds in the middle of my cancer journey. I was, I was in the hospital. I had had a a lung surgery, and then I had a surprise another hip surgery during COVID. I was in the
Wow,
hospital by
wow,
myself 2.5 months. Parents can't visit. No one can
oh
even visit
wow,
you in the
that is so
hospital.
hard. Yeah.
It was rough, and,
Yeah.
I was walking ar like, I would part of my exercise was to just do the lap around the ward,
Right, right.
and I saw this scale, and, I had gotten big. I mean, I knew, I mean, I was eating bad. I was drinking a lot, I was
Right.
really,
Yeah,
really
yeah, self-loathing and stuff, right? You're in a
it
hard spot, a big challenge.
well, it was it was work and health
Right.
and business partner and oh gosh, man, like the
Mhm.
whole big sad list of everything,
Mhm.
and I was like, dang. And I went over there and I got on the thing and I was 205, man. and, I'm about a 160 guy, okay?
Okay.
One
Yeah.
one 155, 165, okay? I mean, if I'm bulking up, I'm a little bigger than that if I'm really, but I was like, "You know what?" And it hit me. I'm like, "I cannot carry around a sack of concrete if I'm gonna do something with this leg."
Right. Yeah. You're
And
wearing your hip down real quick with the extra weight.
I mean, man, it was like literally, and like a sack of like sugar that we would use to, like we bought things by the ton, right? So it was a 50 pound
Right.
bag of sugar or 50 pound
Right.
bag of popcorn seeds. And you throw a pallet of those around, you're like, and I'm like, dude, I
Yeah.
am carrying one of those around on this little freaking toothpick.
Yeah,
This
dude.
ain't gonna work out, man.
All right.
And, I lost the weight, Um,
Yeah, yeah. You have
yeah,
to.
yeah, I mean, that I had a lot of help with, like, I just didn't wanna eat, I wasn't hungry, you know? There was a lot of that 'cause I couldn't exercise really. I mean, I was just, I was in bad shape, and when you're sick,
Right.
you kinda you'll lose a lot. You can lose weight pretty quickly anyways.
Yeah. Right. Right.
You know, um, kinda just random question that I read in an Arnold Schwarzenegger encyclopedia thing, back a long
Yeah.
time ago. 3,600 calories is a pound. And it doesn't matter which way you cut it or whatever you do. If you want to lose a pound, you have to burn 3,600 more calories than you take in to lose a pound. Is that
Yep.
is that true? Is that
Yep. That's the theoretical weight. It's yep, right.
okay?
35, 3,600 calories. That is the
Okay.
theoretical weight. And something as simple as okay, through diet and exercise, you
Yep.
cut 500 calories out a day, and of
Yep.
course of a week, you lose a pound. And
Right.
the opportunity for that to be mostly body fat is significantly greater than just losing weight of water weight or even
Right.
risking muscle. And if you
Yeah.
lose weight too fast, you lose water weight and you lose muscle as a larger percentage of that weight, which is what you don't want. And your body
Right.
will hold on to body fat. So
Yeah.
you can't lose weight. It's 1, 2 pounds a week is sustainable. Three is amazing. Four or more, you're overreaching. That's what I tell people all the time.
That's a really good measurement kind of thing for
Yeah.
people to just know as a common sense kind of measurement.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. And I know that if you're saying, hey, 100 days, the guys are losing 20 to 30 pounds.
Yeah. Yep.
They're doing it in a healthy way, man.
Exactly. Exactly. And,
Right?
and then you have someone come in, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds real fast or 40 pounds real fast. I'm sorry. It's just not the way humans work. Sure, you can do it, but the bounce back is there. And the initial question that I'd have to say is like, why did you allow yourself to gain it in the first place?
Right.
Because no matter how much strain or stress or challenge or trouble, you still didn't have to put the food in your mouth to gain the weight, regardless of how you felt. It's
Yeah.
just the way it is. It's a, it can be a brass tacks. A gentleman I was talking with
Yeah.
yesterday, he's 68, diabetic, cholesterol, already had a heart attack, his stents, his knees swelling. Michael, you're in a bad spot. You're in a bad spot, man. You do need to do something. Whether you're doing it with me or someone else, you
Yeah.
have to do something different because you're 25 pounds or more overweight and you have
Yeah.
all these other things going on. The writing is on the wall, man. And sometimes you have to be upfront with
Yeah.
people for them to
Right.
shake out of this complacency that they're going to be okay. Like, dude, the average male is 76 years old, and you have a
Yeah.
lot of health issues working against you right now.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
math. It's not looking
Yeah.
good.
I bet, do a lot of people get frustrated with you because basically you're probably one of the people that has the courage to tell them like, what you're doing isn't good for you. It's not gonna work, and people don't wanna hear that. They don't wanna hear they're wrong.
Yeah. Well, usually if someone comes and lands on my doorstep, they've already made decisions that they're gonna change.
Okay, I
Okay.
got you.
So
Good,
so
good.
we've already met halfway and they're not in
That's good.
denial. I can't say,
Right.
"Hey, Trent, you need to come work with me because I can help you run a marathon or something." And
Yeah,
you're like, "Dude, I don't want to run." Like I get like it's a no win here, right? Then I will
yeah,
be this like, well, you need to run because you need your leg to get strong. Like, Brian, there's other ways to get my leg strong without running. Like, I don't want to compromise my bionic hip here. Like, right? I had one guy take a chance on me and we did it, and I can walk. I don't want to compromise, right? So, like, say
yeah,
for your situation. So,
sure.
uh, so that's the thing is that
Yeah,
people are appreciate the open honesty, but they're
yeah.
already decided that they need to change, which is hard
Right,
because you can tell people till they're blue in the face you need to make
right.
better choices until they're actually ready to do it. It doesn't matter.
And, it sounds like, I mean, are people kind of filtered, in your process? By the
Yeah.
time you talk to them, they're there because, like, you worked this thing to the point where it's like, you
Mm.
know, like, I bet you when you sit down and you talk with somebody within 5 minutes, you already know,
Oh,
like, this person's gonna be able to do this, or
yeah.
they're not, or in 3 weeks, they're gonna give me this problem, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
15 years in the popcorn business, like, that I did, I could
Yeah.
run it in my sleep. I ran it
Right.
from my hospital bed, dying of pancreatic cancer. People are like, "How do you do that?" I'm like, "'Cause it's on autopilot, baby."
Right.
I Every problem, I've already fixed it
Yes.
5 different
Yep.
ways. Which
Yep.
way do you wanna fix it today? 'Cause
Yeah. Exactly.
you
Exactly. I
know,
say,
so
hey, you're a unique person, and I appreciate you, but your problems are not unique to me. I experience
yeah,
them every single day with other
yeah,
people, and
yeah, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. We're at, like, an hour and 10,
Yeah.
and hey, man, I don't ever wanna cut anybody off, and I'm good, so, like, I don't mind continuing. I just wanted you to, you know,
Oh, yeah. No
feel
one
feel
time.
comfortable, like,
We got a little bit more time.
yeah, I
So
mean,
we
if
we
you
can
get,
start wrapping up, but
yeah, yeah, I just did taking a time checkpoint and,
right.
it's all good. I never wanna cut anybody
Right.
off, and,
Sure.
hey, man, I don't have a segment on a radio show, okay? So,
Right.
you know, we do what we wanna
There's no
do.
cut to ads. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
man, I mean, I'm the boss of this one-man
Yep.
band, baby.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
do you wanna talk about, there was 3 to 5 key topics that you had listed, that were points that you may wanna cover, and you've kinda partially covered some of those. I didn't know if you wanted to touch on those a little more or,
Sure.
um
Yeah. Ask me the question, and we'll
um,
fire away. Rapid
yeah,
fire.
yeah, health as a leadership tool.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. If
I
you
could
wake
I
up, yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I can tell that you got this, man. You've molded this into exactly what it is. It's really it's fascinating to me, right? Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah.
Yeah. The initial thing comes to mind is that if you wake up and you look in the mirror and there is dissonance, there's friction, you don't see what you need to see to be able to overcome the challenges of today, then you're not leading from the front. You're not being the example for the people closest to you, your spouse, your kids, your
Yep.
friends, other extended family. And then you go into the work situation, literally you're going to make less money because you aren't confident in yourself, and it's subtle. It's so subtle. Even just like right now I'm sitting here, and if I want to appear more confident, more energetic, more that I have it together, I need to get bigger. So watch this and just go whoop, just instantly I lift up, I my shoulders up and back, I'm taller, I'm more present, I can project better. And in
Yeah.
that situation, when you're trying to make deals, when you're trying to form relationships, when you're trying to network, when you're trying to do business, then you can do business in a way. But you
Yeah.
can't if you're literally, I'll see people. I remember this one guy, he had an online video of himself on a stage and he kept touching his belly. Like he's like brushing or pulling on his shirt or whatever. It's a subtle
Oh, like trying to like
thing.
oh,
Yeah, he's just trying to make sure his belly wasn't hanging out or something.
yeah.
And or they're pull up the clothes or they just keep fidgeting with themselves
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
subconscious because they're not comfortable. And people pick up on that, whether it's they recognize it or it's
Yeah.
subconscious. This person is comfortable. I can't quite
Yeah.
trust them like I thought I could. It
Yeah.
could be that subtle. And
Yeah.
then you lose business in a sense.
Yeah.
So yes, health is a leadership tool. Health is a confidence tool. Health is a business strategy that you
Yeah.
can leverage to do better.
I've never thought about it like the way that you put it, but it is so true, right? That when I was going to the gym and, I felt like I looked good and I was happy with the goals and the progress that I had made that I had set for myself in the gym, that
Yeah.
gave me more confidence in my business,
Yes.
in my
Yeah,
job, right?
exactly. Right.
And
Right.
and and, you
You
know
do hard things. You go lift that heavy thing, it's hard. And then
yeah,
you're
man.
okay to accept that there's gonna be other hard things to do. And even
Yeah,
like with your cancer recovery, you did hard things. You did an extra lap that you might not have thought you could, but you did. And
yeah,
therefore you built more resilience and more capacity, more grit to be able to deal with the challenges that cancer brings. I haven't had cancer. I
yeah,
know that it's hard. I've seen personal family members
yeah,
deal with it, and it's a
yeah,
challenge, and
yeah.
it's yeah. But
Yeah,
your
it's tough,
mindset
man.
makes the difference between you living and thriving or dying
Yeah,
ultimately, and it's a
yeah,
mindset thing.
yeah, yeah. With your health and wellness kinda protocol that you do, I feel like it's similar to the framework that I have because mine is about mind, will,
Yeah.
emotions, body, and spirit, right? The
Yeah.
whole encompassing thing that
Right.
makes a person, right? And I kind of go through a bit of an evaluation in each one of those
That's
areas to try to figure out, okay, where is our problem? Because really, you know, cancer is the issue because, right, the body, but that's really a symptom of a problem. And
mhm.
you know what? Most of the problems, almost they're here.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
I would totally say if someone's 30 pounds overweight, they're wearing the problems.
Right. Yeah.
They're wearing
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
They don't have good coping mechanisms or skill
Yeah.
sets or abilities to be able to work through whatever challenges those are. And if they got equipped with the skills, because everything is a skill that you can learn and be able to apply in this world, in this life.
Yeah.
And if you learn those, then you could improve upon them.
Yeah. Yeah. It was tough on me, um, in the position I was in because I didn't have any escapes left, right?
Right. Yeah, right. You have to sit down
Like
and deal with it.
you run out of ways to like, occupy yourself or fool yourself, and
Right.
at some point you kind of, you kind of have to get down to like, I got to deal with this. Like it was like that
Yeah.
weight thing. It was like the 50 pounds. It was like, there's really nothing else to say, brother. You got to freaking lose this or
Right.
you're never going to get a chance to get a hip surgery. And
Right.
you're gonna be resentful and hate and angry for the rest of your life because
Right.
you screwed up your chance. And you know what? I decided that day, right? And I was like, I'm changing this today.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it took me 9 months, man, to lose that weight.
Yeah, but the decision was made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I find I find a lot of times, you set a goal and it's good, but when the days get hard and they get tough and you have on no matter what, the reason that you're doing that goal to me has to be even stronger than the goal. Because
Oh,
to me,
totally. You're why.
that's what keeps you going, right?
Yeah.
For me, it was, I had had a friend that my brother's best friend had passed away from cancer about 6 months before I got it. It was really sad. And then I had had a really good friend in New Zealand have a have a bad business deal, and he took his life. And to
Oh,
watch his parents, have to
right.
deal with that. And you know what? I was just like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but, I can't die on my parents. I just can't. They'll never recover. They'll never be the same.
Yeah.
This isn't the natural order of life,
Right.
and
Right.
things are
It's very
off,
challenging. Mhm.
and I gotta figure this out, man,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah. Being a father of 4, there would be a very big shift in our family dynamics if I had lost a child at some
yeah,
point in this
yeah.
journey.
I
It'll
mean,
be
I just
pretty challenging.
yeah, yeah, I was like, I mean, my heart to my friend's parents, and I'm just like, I owe it to them fight to my last breath, man.
Yeah.
And that was my thing. I was like, you know what? I'm not going out. On my tombstone is gonna be he fought to his last breath, man. Because, dude,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
tho
That's
those were
admirable.
conversations, man. Those were conversations being had, like, they were, but hey, you know what? We all have things in life. We all have stuff that happens, and you know
Yep.
what? You know, people say, "Man, I can never do what you did. I can never be that tough. I can never rise to that occasion." But you know what? You can when you need to, man.
Yeah.
Human beings are unbelievable, and,
Yeah.
I know that there have been challenges and things in your life that you have overcome that have been tough and impossible and things. And I know that you've had a lot of clients that have done that too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 man. If you want to share one or two like of your clients, maybe, that have just done something that people think's impossible, right? And they're just
Yeah.
a regular guy. They just had a bit of resilience and a bit of just huevos, man, and a bit of grit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I'm gonna do this. Some days you're gonna cry about it, you're gonna cuss about it, you're gonna whine like a little, you know, and and you know what? And
Right.
you know what? And then you know what you're gonna do? Next day you're gonna get back on your tricycle and you're gonna keep riding.
Yep. Uh-huh. Mhm.
And I bet you're very
Exactly.
proud of
The first one that comes to mind is Drake.
what's that?
Drake's the first guy that comes to
Okay.
mind in that
Okay.
situation.
Yeah.
Guy came to me about 30, 270, 280 in that range, raging high blood pressure. Doctor's going to put him on meds. He said, hold
Yeah.
up, let me do something. And so he finds me. We have a conversation. All right, let's go. And in that change, it was a grand slam client. He is episode 50 on Driven for Health. He shares his story there.
Wow.
And in that, he quit a K a year job because it was immense pressure. He worked for an architecture firm that he had managed over $1 billion worth of assets. And in that
That's
situation, you have to sign your life away if there's money missing that you're going to jail. Right? $100,000 and $1 billion is like a penny in like 100. It was
Yeah.
like, you don't even miss it. But when it all
Right.
comes due, you're like, wait, this is $999.99. Where's that penny? Right? That's a problem. So
Yeah.
there's that. There's other pressures of
Sure.
that he put on himself. The guy was driving around in a Shelby GT Mustang, and but he was eating spine steak dinners by himself. And we had conversations about his the stress, about his lifestyle, about all of that. And I called him out on his car. We were talking about it. Said, so what's up with the car, man? It's a pretty fun car. It's like, yeah, 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 but the gas, or the gas is a bit more. And if I need to do an oil change or tire rotation, or change your tires, that's a lot of zeros all of a sudden, right? It don't matter how much you're making, but when you're just like, oh, each tire on my car is $300. Ah, this is this is a lot if I need to change this thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he said, it's just not me. I said, why do you have it? He said, I don't know. And from that conversation, within 3 days, he sold it and bought an F 150, because he's an F 150 guy. And man, the next week, the joy that came out of this guy, oh my gosh. All right.
Wow.
So he ended up losing the weight. He lost about 80 pounds, 90 pounds when it was all said and done. And then he ended up changing careers. He worked into himself into a business that he could do and enjoy, and thrive, and even do more money and make more money, and drive his truck. And then he got into a real relationship that was fruitful, that was his soulmate in a sense. They moved into a house, they got married together. And if he texted me today, I'd jump on a phone call with him and say, Drake, how you doing, man? And it was just a life changing transformation of him deciding that enough was enough and I need to do something. And then we were able to work together, roll our sleeves up, and overcome the challenges and all that
Yeah.
he faced throughout that journey.
Yeah.
But it was amazing.
Yeah. Do you have any psychology degree or sociology or any of that? Because
Uh,
a lot of the stuff that you deal with
yeah, yeah.
is mindset, right?
Totally. Yep, yep, yep. I do not, but I have the experience to be a
Right.
psychology PhD, because
Yeah,
I've
man.
literally talked to people in all these situations. I had a lady today, literally today, she had esophageal cancer a couple years ago, last 2, 3 years, and going through the challenges of that, the chemotherapy, the radiation, the immunotherapy. She lost
Yeah.
60, 70 pounds, but she's still got fight in her. She's 70, 70, 71. She's still got fight in her. She's got
Right.
grandkids. She travels. She's going to Florida here next week.
Right.
She's a spitfire.
Yeah.
And we were able to leverage. There'd be days she wouldn't eat for days, like 2, 3 days. Maryland, you need to eat some food. She's like, I know, but I'm not hungry. It's like, well, you still need to eat food. But then we'd have complications of eating with the radiation and all that stuff that does
Right.
as well
Yeah.
to the stomach,
Yeah.
and just throwing it up and all this.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was a big challenge for her to manage, but she's overcome it, and she's been in remission, and she's living her best life as a result of
Yeah. That's
fighting
awesome.
and standing up for herself
Yeah.
and dealing with it head on, because she didn't know that she had or needed or had that strength in her to fight cancer,
Right.
but
Yeah.
she pulled it out and she made it
Yeah.
happen.
I mean, do you read do you read books, or, or do you have a favorite author, or, do you listen
Uh,
to podcasts, or, that kind of thing, Um, I'm just curious because, man, I had 9 months, I had to rewire my brain
yes.
to
Yep.
convince myself that
Right.
I could be one of the 5% that could beat
Yeah.
pancreatic cancer, because
Yeah.
I didn't believe it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pancreatic cancer is unfortunately a death sentence almost, right? And in your
it
situation, you're able to fail,
less
but
than a
that's the one
5%.
that's the one you don't want. Just like when you're 75 and you fall and break your hip, you don't want that, because that is a sheer shot that something's going to get you. Whether it's a broken hip, it's not going to be a broken hip, but it's going to be pneumonia, because
It's
you're
the
not.
beginning of the
Yeah,
downhill is usually what
exactly,
it
exactly.
yeah,
And yeah, you're in trouble then. So it's a lot of self development, personal development. Tony Robbins,
Awesome,
Joe
man.
Dispenza.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
Also,
sure.
yeah. There's
Yeah,
so many
yeah,
those type of people that I've listened to over the
yeah,
years, and
yeah,
the experiences of that, and I leverage that in my subconscious when I interact with people.
yeah, yeah,
I don't have a lot of time to read books. I listen to a lot of things.
yeah,
I do read. I read all day long. I'm reading text messages. I'm reading
yeah,
all sorts of different things. My email, whatever. I'm reading, assessing, and trying to figure out and understand all the things that are going on
yeah,
for people to be able to leverage getting them in a better spot.
yeah, yeah. Um, Hypothetically, right? I found you on the internet, and I
Yeah,
contacted
you're right.
you, and I contacted you, or somebody heard the
I reached
podcast.
out to you. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be awesome. Um, and like, how long does it take for them to kind of have get a meeting with you and kind of get a plan together and get started? Can you just kind of give us a rough timeline? You know,
Uh, I've had I've talked with Chris, Brandon, Irene, talking to a gentleman and his wife tonight. So those are five, and then Michael and Wanda, seven people I've spoken with in the last 24 hours, in the last day or two, since yesterday
right,
and today. If I have an open spot, we're going to find a time and we're going to
right,
connect and we're going to see if it works. And if it
yeah,
does, if we're a great fit for each other, then we move on to the next step. We'll book our intake and then start the process. And it's buckle up, zoom, zoom, off we go.
I know, right? Yeah, man, I'm
Yep.
with you. Yeah, it sounds like
Don't wait. We can't wait because
right,
that's the waiting game is you're wasting time in a sense. You're
yeah.
losing.
It's like the law of diminishing opportunity, because
Yes, very
the
much so.
longer you wait, the further you then I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I see it all the time. If
Yeah,
someone doesn't make a decisive action within, say, 12 hours or less
yeah,
of them having a conversation with you, we don't work together. And oftentimes they don't take any action at all.
yeah, yeah,
It's unfortunate, but
yeah.
true.
It happens with me too, you know?
Yep. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
Just so you know, you're like, oh, I got to think about it. Think about this. If you don't sign up or make intent to sign up with someone else, you're not going to change. 6 months are going to come and go, and you're going to stay in the same spot, probably worse.
right.
And you're losing the opportunity. There's no time to wait in this life. You have to advance. Change is happening. I always like to reference this. You and I have sat in the same position. We've been, what, an hour and 32 minutes and plus our pre call, right? We
Yeah,
haven't moved, but that's not true. The earth has been spinning real fast around the sun, and we have moved hundreds or even thousands of miles from that initial point of contact that we had. So it might feel like we haven't moved and nothing's changed, but that literally by the laws of physics is untrue. Every day changes, and tomorrow is always tomorrow. Today is always today, and this is the opportunity that you have. And being present and understanding of the presence and being here checked in and not checked out on the phone, not checked out of life, not coping with bad behaviors, then you can actually make something and experience life so much further than you could.
one of my mottos with the with cancer got to be just win today, man.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just try to win today.
Yep.
I can't even think about tomorrow. Heck, I can't even think about this afternoon.
Right. Right.
I'm just trying to get my sick ass through to lunch,
Yep.
and
Yep.
get through this meeting that I go to for work. Thank God I still had that. My
Huge.
team would call me and just like call me and be like, "You have to come up here. We can't fix this without you." And I'd be so angry. and I had to
Yeah.
get out of bed, man. I'm dragging this infected leg around that's
Right.
too short and everything, and you know what? It was the best thing for me because then I had to get out of the house, and I had to go do something, and I had to go have a purpose, and I
Yep.
had to do what men have to do to feel
Yeah.
like men,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So, man, wonderful conversation, man. Golly. I can tell you, Brian, man, I mean, I've had some great guests, man. I really have. I've been so fortunate and blessed to have such wonderful people. But I promise you, you will be in the top one hand this year. I
Thank you.
already
I
know it.
appreciate that.
I dude, I just know, man. I've got intuition, right? No.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. Thank you.
man, God bless you so much, man.
Yeah.
And thank you for your time
Yeah.
and your patience and your sharing and your openness and all that. You're the exact kind of guest that we look for
Thank
that
you.
will share and pour in to the
Yeah.
listener, right? And
Yeah.
you're probably not going to get anybody calling you going, "Thanks, Brian. You know, you were
No,
great."
and that's yeah.
But you know what? You know what, man? I don't need that because I know that they're there, right?
Yeah.
And I just kind of feel like for every one contact or one thank you that I get, there's 100 people that were thinking, you know?
Yeah.
So, man, would you like to, round it out with anything? Do you want to
Yeah.
tell us about any websites or anything or promote anything? I mean, yeah, just,
Yeah, sure. I have
man.
my men's program, The Call to Rise, is a 100-day fat loss challenge and
Yep.
so much more. But we have those 5 pillars of identity, of nutrition, of fitness, of your changing your mindset and doing it in a group of like-minded men. And that's something that guys in their 40s and 50s don't have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the changes that transpire in 100 days are transformational beyond just the physical body. And that's the best part about my journey and why I even started this thing in the first place. So there's that. I've got Driven for Health as my podcast. I've been on a
Right.
tear, as we talked about, of
Yep.
78 podcasts. I'm going to keep
Yep.
doing those because they are speaking truth. They are educating. They're adding value into this space. So there's that. I would probably send people Drake's Stories episode 50. Go listen to him tell his story about
Okay.
how he
Yeah.
changed. He dropped
Okay.
the weight and transformed his life because we talk about it. From there, I do work with women, and it's more of a private, personal, one-on-one basis
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well. But
Yeah.
that's Brian in a nutshell. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help people with their health, their fitness, their nutrition, and their lifestyle, ultimately, so that they don't have to Google what diet should I be on, worry about how their weight is interfering with their confidence, their energy, and they can get back to being themselves. And that's what the world needs. They need
Yeah.
you to be yourself, to be put yourself out there and do what you need to show up in your best energy and attitude. Because if we all do that, then the world is a much better place. And my general motto is leave the person on the other end in a better spot than when you found them. And if you can do that for yourself, first and foremost, from listening to this conversation, and then you can do that for someone close to you, I would encourage you to do that today. Reach out to somebody, send a text, make a phone call,
Yeah.
do a goodwill, do a good deed for the day so
Man.
that they can feel valued, they can feel appreciated, they can feel thankful that someone did something for them, and you can
Yeah.
be the action taker of that. There you go.
And you know what? When we kind of started out with the hope thing, and it'll come back to you, right?
Mhm.
You initiate that and it's gonna come back to you, man. What's the easiest, best way for people to get in touch with you?
Theculturerise.com
Okay.
for the men's group, or
Okay.
Brian at brianprana.com is my email.
Okay.
Yeah, I literally am checking that all the time.
Okay.
That would be the
Okay.
easiest way. Just email me.
Okay. Just making sure, hey man, I want to definitely give you your
Yeah,
ink
thank
and
you.
promote that. I love it, man. I mean, it's a team thing for me, right? Because if you
Oh,
do well,
totally.
If you do
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I do well, and we do well, and they do well, right? And
Yes. Yes.
that's what the crew is about, man.
Yeah.
The whole
Yep.
crew rises. So, man, if you're good, I'm gonna take us out.
I'm good.
And
Yeah.
if you don't mind, stick around for a minute after,
Yeah. Sure. Definitely.
we cut the line.
Yep.
So, man, what an awesome episode, guys. I mean, really and truly, I would personally be really appreciative if anybody that hears the episode could just give a shout out to Brian and just tell him how appreciative you are and how awesome his openness and willingness and even vulnerable and everything, man. It's so cool. So, guys, as we always do, God bless you all. Godspeed to you this week. And never forget that grit don't quit. We're out.
I hope you enjoyed our conversation Trent and I had for an hour and 40 minutes. It was crazy, but it was crazy good. And I really appreciate the time, the energy, and the conversation that we were able to dive into the depths of the challenges of cancer, overcoming it. And I hope that you leave inspired. If you want, definitely check out Trent's Conqueror's Crew web podcast. That's going to be a great place to hear more powerful stories of how he helps people push through challenging situations, especially around cancer. So that's Trent Brock's Conqueror's Crew. And that's it for this episode of Driven for Health. And we'll catch you in episode 105.